We are going to begin our toe with a crochet provisional cast on. This is the preferred method of doing this because you end up with all of your stitches on your needle when you're doing your crochet. So to start off with, I'm going to take a short tail about 4 to 5 inches long. I'm going to place 2 fingers inside the tail over the top of them, wrap the yarn around from the back, turn my fingers over, and then I'm going to poke this loop through, and then just pull on that little tail that you have left to tighten it. Now, I'm going to place this on my crochet hook, and I'm going to be using a 2mm crochet hook for this. I want to use a size that's pretty close to the needles that you'll actually be using. It does not have to be exact. This is just to hold waste yarn, or rather live stitches. And so I'm going to begin by crocheting 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm going to take my knitting needle, and this is a size 2 double pointed needle, and I'm going to place it underneath my crochet hook in a T position where the bottom of my needle is actually resting on top of my yarn. So you can see that a little bit right here. You can see that this is, yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to take my yarn. I'm going to go around the needle, and over the hook, and I am going to crochet this. Like that. And so I'll go around the knitting needle, over the hook, so I'm bringing my yarn to the front so you can see that there is no extra wrap here. If you do it where it naturally falls, you end up with 2 wraps, and that is not what you want. So I bring it back to the front, around the back of the needle, over the crochet hook, and work the stitch. You'll notice that I'm actually turning my crochet hook a little bit, and that I find that helps me to get through it and to pull the stitch through the existing loop on the needle. It may or may not help you. I'm really not a very good crocheter. This is pretty much the limit of what I can do with a crochet hook. So I'm going to come back to the front and over, front, back, over, front, back, over, front, back, over, front, back, over. And I'm going to keep doing this until I have half the total number of stitches needed for my toe. Because we will be working in a short row toe in just a moment here. So front, back, and then over. I actually find that it helps me if I talk myself through this while I'm doing it. And so now I have a nice even row of stitches here, and you will notice that they are all mounted in the correct direction. And so the leg of the stitch, the left leg is on the back of the needle and the right leg is on the front of the needle, which is exactly what you want when you're doing this. If you are a combination knitter, you do need to know a little bit more about your style than this, as these stitches are actually mounted backwards for you. But for everybody else, this is exactly how you want your stitches to be mounted for your first row. And so count these real quick. See, 24, 25. Okay, so this is going to be 26 and 27 and 28 and 29 and 30. Now I'm going to chain crochet another 3 stitches and just move your crochet hook out of the way of the knitting needle, but keep the knitting needle in one hand and the crochet hook in the other. I happen to be right-handed, and so that's how I'm showing this. It really and truly, you can do this any way that you wish, with your right or your left hand. Doesn't really make a whole lot of difference as long as your stitches are still mounted in the right direction. Now I'm going to slip this. Just go ahead and get that little snip. And then I am going to take a marker and I'm going to mark the tail end, which is the end that I just cut. And the reason why I'm using a magic marker for this instead of a knot is because the magic marker is guaranteed to not come out. Hence you're using waste yarn, so it doesn't really matter. A knot, I've had bad experiences with those, and it's just easier if they don't go anywhere. And so now you can see that I have a nice long line of crochet stitches right here going down the side of the needle. And I turn it over, and you can see that these are all mounted in the direction that they need to be so that you can knit or purl your next row without having to slip any of your stitches and correct the mounts.